અસીમ જયકાર હો.
દાદા ભગવાનના અસીમ જય 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 જયકાર હો.
કશ્યપભાઈ ફોલો કરો. કશ્યપભાઈ
Just give me a minute.
ઓકે. દાદા ભગવાનના અસીમ જય જયકાર હો.
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 કશ્યપભાઈ
Yeah.
ફોલો કરો પ્લીઝ.
Okay. દાદા ભગવાનના અસીમ જય જયકાર હો.
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 દાદા ભગવાનના અસીમ જય
અરુણાબેન કચ્છભાઈ જય સચ્ચિદાનંદ.
જય
પુલિનાનજી
સચ્ચિદાનંદ.
પ્લીઝ.
નમો વિતરાગાય
નમો
નમો
વિતરાગાય.
વિતરાગાય.
નમો વરિહંતાણમ
નમો વરિહંતાણમ.
નમો સિદ્ધાણમ
નમો સિદ્ધાણમ.
નમો આયરિયાણમ
નમો આયર્યાણમ.
આયર્યાણમ.
નમો વજ્રયાણમ
નમો વજ્રાયાણમ.
નમો લોય સવ સાહુણમ
નમો લોય સવ સાહુણમ.
સાહુણમ.
એસો પંચમુક્કારો
એસો
પંચનમુક્કારો
સવ ભાવપનાસણો
સર્વપાવપણાસણો
સર્વપાવપણાસણો.
મંગલાણંચ સુવેસિમ
Mangalanam
cha sarvesin.
Sarvesin
Padmam Havai Mangalam.
Paramam
Havai
Havai
Mangalam.
Mangalam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om
Om
Namah
Namah Shivaya.
Shivaya.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai
Jai Sachidanand.
Satchidanand. Jai Satchidanand Deepakanandji.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satyam, Happy
Jai
Mahatma.
Sachidanand.
Everybody, wishing you a happy new year, and we pray to Dada Bhagwan that we stay in his Agna throughout the year and do a lot of Purusharth. Pulinanji, you want to give us a message, New Year?
મને કીધું
હા.
ના બસ કાંઈ નહીં. હેપી ન્યુ યર ટુ ઓલ. એન્ડ બીજું તો શું કહું, જે આપણે પુરુષાર્થ કરીએ છીએ કરીએ, અને લેટ્સ ધ ન્યુ યર બી હેપી. Let the new year be happy, spiritually as well as in the relative terms, in real terms and in relative terms. May we enhance more of our inner happiness, if I may say so. More the inner happiness, less will be the dependency on the outer happiness, which anyway is part of Vyavasthit or part of karma, hisab, So the relative part will be flip-flop, up and down, depending on the papa and punya. But the real part is what we can manage by way of Purusharth. So may the new year be spiritually happy, and where we increase the inner happiness, the inner steadiness, inner gnata drashta. And let's all pray to Dada Bhagwan that he gives us immense guidance, immense strength to follow his agnas and march forward on the path to moksha by leaps and bounds. Jai Satchidanand.
Deepakanji?
Jai Sachidanand.
Deepakanji?
Jai Satchidanand. I believe the most difficult part of digesting our mind, speech, body aspect is the suffering part, the five sense suffering, and we get easily driven away by its positiveness and negativeness, positivity and negativity. So I believe that our pure soul perception becomes so sharp and vigilant that we are able to perceive very nicely all the five sense suffering, which is part of karmic result, and that will help us surpass that karma, which we will be able to experience it better, because everything we are able to digest, but the smallest or slightest suffering part, when it comes, we get driven away very easily, and we sit either in the liking part or the disliking part, oscillate between likes and dislikes. So here, as we become vigilant about this suffering, this is not my suffering, this is five sense suffering, which is karmic result of past karmas which were caused, and it has come to me. But because of my past ignorance and today's lapse in perceiving these suffering, I get driven away and I blame others who become instrument towards that suffering, whether it is positive happiness or unhappiness. If it is happiness, I like the other person. If it's unhappiness, I don't like that person. So I put cross. And wherever I like, I put yes, I click yes. So here, as we perceive, we will become impartial, that these suffering were meant to be perceived and surpassed. And once you surpass this suffering, you understand at the end of it, it was nothing. Before it was nothing, after it was nothing. But during that suffering part, we get driven away. And as we become vigilant about this suffering, we experience our pure soul happiness, that is bliss, very nicely, irrespective of the oscillating aspect of the suffering of happiness and unhappiness, which is part of five Agnas. Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand. Okay, Mahatma, before we go to question 5, we had some Purusharth on Chitt. Anybody did any Purusharth on Chitt and see how our Chitt was behaving in different circumstances for last, 2-3 weeks? Anybody? Okay, question 5.
Yeah, Jai Sachin, can I ask one question?
Before we go to the question,
Yeah.
in these last few weeks, I had been passing through bouts of suffering, but I understood from Dada Bhagwan that this suffering, wherever and whenever there is suffering, our Chitt tends to go over there again and again. And in fact, that the way the Chitt goes over there, it concentrates or focuses our body vitality over there to cure that. And behind that, I remain vigilant. I try to remain vigilant and try not to take any painkiller. That this is very mild, it is not very serious. Okay, if it is serious, I will help you take painkiller. But it really helps so much that I was able to surpass this suffering, painful, hurtful suffering very nicely. Of course, it was not extreme. When it was very extreme, I did take painkiller. Jai Satchidanand.
Very good observation.
So this vigilance part, perceiving part is of the pure consciousness, and the painful part is of the relative consciousness,
Because
reflective consciousness.
while you're going that you could sometimes dwell on the past, that what kind of a person you are because of your suffering. Because while you're doing this suffering, did you ever dwell what kind of a person you were before, what all the causes that were made, or
Whatever suffering is coming now, I must focus that to perceive them nicely through pure consciousness, through separation. Subsequently, I will come to know why it had happened. I did not go and ponder into, oh, what was it? Because if something is there in front of me, I should be able to see it. I don't have to try to look into what it is. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, but no, I'll tell you my experience. Sometimes it happened something, right? They say, oh, this was very bad in the past, so I say, Dada Bhagwan, please forgive me, whoever I hurt. It just automatically comes. It's not that you dwell on the suffering or something, That's my experience.
No, that is fine. But today, the focus is on suffering. It is driving my attention. I am not able to focus anywhere else. All my attention is on that pain only. So, where is the question of wandering into where did it happen, how did it happen? That will come. It will come and show itself. If you are able to see, it's fine. But
Actually,
when
here,
I believe when that suffering part is not that extreme, then you will be able to see that. But when it is extreme, your focus today is to handle the suffering first. Jai Satchidanand.
No,
yeah,
what happened, what I'm trying to say is because then, with particular, I can do, I do particular, that, hey, whatever, I work, Dada Bhagwan, Mande Maafi Aapjo, and please forgive me. Okay, Pulinanandji?
Yeah, both of you are right, and little what I can infer from both of your experiences. Deepak Anand is talking more on the physical and intense pain, at the body suffering part of it.
Present.
And
Present.
present, the present body suffering is so intense that the entire attention and focus is on that, and so no time to dwell in the past and just manage the present with that whatever Gnan solutions. And what Ratnibai is trying to drive, which is also equally good experience, is that it is a mental suffering sort of something has happened and someone has spoken or something unpleasant, something not liking. That is why we call it suffering. And that has happened, and then that draws in that if I am suffering, then maybe I have given such type of suffering to someone in the past, and then that's how you try to go towards the past cause which could be the result of the present suffering. So maybe when it's at the mental level, or at someone's speech which agitates us, not much at the body or physical level, physical pain, then that would happen. Pragna would drive us to find out, what have I done that has resulted in this, so that I may not repeat that mistake, which will again trigger a pain that is happening now, suffering that is happening now. So I think both of you are right, but I think the slight difference is this is the physical pain and that is the non-physical suffering.
No, I also meant the physical because, I went through the pain for my right knee for 3 months, So off and on is, yeah, Dada Bhagwan, whoever I kicked, anybody, please forgive me. Anybody kick, please forgive me. That's, it automatically comes like that. Yeah, I went to 3 months of my right knee pain.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have a tendency to find out, misuse of the limb. કોઈ પણ અંગનો દુરુપયોગ થયો હોય તો કદાચ એનું
Right,
suffering.
exactly. Yeah.
That is the general understanding we have, that why a person has some physical disabilities, little arm, leg, eyes, whatever. So those are possible causes, and so that's how it got triggered over there. It's fine. That's fine. And sometimes these knee issues and all, one of the possibilities are the psychosomatic category, where some mental sustained anxiety or suffering or inflexibility or something, I don't have the right words right now, those lead to a gradual degeneration of those tissues in the knee in this case, and leads to that type of a suffering. There could be various causes. Anyway, irrespective of whatever the cause is, the point is we are being observer of file number 1, and we are applying the Gnan solutions. Both of them applying the Gnan solutions, that how do you, in one case, remain an observer or try to elevate the pain with Gnan, or do corrective action, as Ratnibai said. Let's see if I can erase or cleanse some of my past misdeeds. So essentially, it's both of us have taken it in the pause. We suppose have taken it in the.
There's a background noise somewhere.
No,
the best thing is that we are using the present circumstances to enhance the focus of the Gnan, the Purusharth of the Gnan, and also, if possible, see what could be the past and erase those mistakes. So the best use of the present suffering to advance spiritually, either way, past erasure or present focus. Jai Sachin.
Okay. Kashyap?
Yeah, actually here, Dadaji has said that our kitchen is our medicine, so for small things we can use that. And even if we see that animals, they have minor problems, they take, they have natural tendency, instinct, that they eat this plants, and even the carnivorous animals, they eat grass, and they know which grass to eat and all that, so they have the modern medicines, they came out of this only, so they have isolated, they observed animals, and they found which plants and all they take. Aspirin, it came from willow tree, the observation. So like that, natural painkillers can be taken when this suffering is there, So that is a kind of nature assistance. So that is what I want to say, and regarding this topic. And can I ask one question?
Go ahead.
Let me share. This is Dada Vani 2021 April. લક્ષ્મી ક્યારે ના મળે, લોકોની કુતલી નિંદા પડે ત્યારે મનની સ્વચ્છતા, દેહની સ્વચ્છતા અને વાણીની સ્વચ્છતા હોય તો લક્ષ્મી મળે. The English translation is, when will one not acquire wealth? It is when one gets involved in gossiping and backbiting others. One acquires wealth when there is purity of the mind, purity of the body, and purity of the speech. So, question here is, it is so. Please explain this one. When this one, when one does not acquire wealth, it is when this one. You please explain.
Pulinanandji?
Ninda Kuthli, so as you say, criticizing and backbiting, the band thai jai, because when a person becomes very narrow-minded, when I'm criticizing others, backbiting, and it is more towards my personal gain, my personal this thing. So he's unable to share his wealth, number one. Number two, in backbiting and all, what happens is you are inflicting suffering on others. No? Maybe not verbally in front of the person, but mentally or verbally behind the person. So it's causing a hurt to someone. And whenever you cause hurt to someone, you are generating pap. So that is why it brings suffering to ears. So basically, wealth comes from punya, see. And punya comes from two places. One is by giving happiness to others. It could be through the mind, it could be through the body, or it could be through the actions, or it could also be physical charity, donations, and things like that. It could be seva, that is by kaya, by body. So these are the ways where you generate punya, which in turn results in Laxmi. Now, the point here is that manni swachhta, dehni swachhta, and vanini swachhta, that is the same thing. That if you are criticizing others, backbiting, so it's impurity of the speech. Similarly, you are thinking wrongly about someone or hurting in the mind at the mental level. So that is impurity of the mind. And when you speak it out, so it's when you do something like that, so that's the impurity of the body or the actions, you see. So these are the physical dimensions of wealth that Dada Bhagwan has sort of revealed in this particular sutra. That when all the three, by all the three ways, if you are causing impurity and then you are causing demerit, that is one thing. it essentially means the mind-body speech is not being used positively for the welfare of others or to give happiness to others. Hence, you are not going to accumulate wealth. Because you do all the negativities, so you are not generating punya, so you don't get this thing. Plus, you are generating suffering. And when you generate suffering, so absence of wealth is also one of the reasons of suffering. See, today people who have less money and find it difficult to meet, to to get 2 square meals or to make ends meet, or even they are able to meet, but they always feel a lack when they compare with the others in their, say, family or friends or relatives. So that generates suffering. So absence of wealth is also suffering, and one of the causes of suffering is this ninda kuthli, and that is because of the impure mind body speech. So that is the link in this particular sutra. Because of this, you get into this type of a chapter.
Usually, purity of the mind, body, it is also taken in another context. Also, you said about that body as a medium to hurt others. That is one angle, but other in the usual general terms, it is taken as cleanliness of the body. So that is there any connection?
No, it's not, it is not the physical cleanliness. Physical cleanliness might help in physical, thought processes and being fresh and positive and things like that. Physical cleanliness helps to some extent. To some extent, yes. If I'm physically clean, or put it the other way, I don't take bath for 3-4 days, so I'm physically unclean. Then I become lethargic. Then I don't get positive thoughts. I don't have positive energy. Then I think negatively about others. So to an extent, it might affect. A healthy body gives rise to healthy mind, and healthy mind gives rise to healthy body. All are interlinked in a way. All are interlinked. So to some extent, yes, but this is swachhta in the sense of action, not in the physical terms. Physical terms to some extent, yes, but generally speaking, I think the focus is on the other aspect. The
They
activity.
also said Vani Saraswati, and regarding to the Vani which you said, it says Vani Saraswati, and misuse of that is the Laxmi ji will become displeased. So does it mean saying the same thing what you said?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and one more in this one there is Lobya Manas.
Before you go,
it's the same section.
Something?
It's the same.
You go next.
Yeah, 1 minute. Let me tell this also, then complete.
Okay.
Lobyo manas navro padhe nahi. Lobi to eno tanma hoye એટલે એના લક્ષ્મી ના અંતરાય પછી ના પડે. લક્ષ્મી તો કોને અંતરાય જેને આ બધું થાય ને કે હિંમતલાલ આવા છે, ફલાના ભાઈ આવા છે, એવી નિંદા છે, ત્યાં લક્ષ્મી નથી. Saying the greedy person never becomes idle. He is absorbed in the greed, so that no obstacles towards money created. Who has the obstacles towards money? The one whom it arises. That Himmat Lal is like that. That person is like that, where others are backbiting takes place. There is no wealth. So here also regarding backbiting is mentioning. But one thing is not clear: why greedy person it doesn't. There's no obstruction for money for the greedy person, so that you can explain.
You see, greedy person is very busy in conserving his money or conserving his things, clothes, food, whatever. It does not get reduced. So he is very busy in that. So he does not criticize. That is one thing. The point that is being trying to derived from this particular paragraph. So he's so busy in that, so he has no time to criticize others. He's just busy into seeing that how his money is not used away or spent, and money and all the other things also. So he's so engrossed in that he has no time to criticize others. That is the main point over here. When you criticize others, then you drive some wrong opinions about others in a third person. Then that might induce him not to share money or good things with the other person on whom you have criticized. So then that drives Antrai to him. Here he is so busy that he does not generate the Antrai. That's what I say.
Now, Deepakanandji, please, your thoughts about this sutra and what is mentioned.
Hey Sachidanand, Dada Bhagwan has so nicely revealed this fact that when we gossip and keep, involved in backbiting other people, that person is I is Narayana. And when you are gossiping or involved in backbiting person, then you are directly abusing in a way or backbiting Narayana. And Narayana's consort is Laxmi ji, the goddess of wealth. So where Narayana is not respected, then Lakshmi ji will not shower its blessings. So in both the cases, this is the crux that person who is very greedy, his focus is only on greed. He is not worried about, he is not involved in gossiping or involved in backbiting others. His focus is greed. So he is not committing this grave mistake of abusing or insulting the inner Lord Narayana, the I. And that's why for him, the goddess of wealth, Lakshmi ji, always shower her blessings. And where people are involved in gossiping and backbiting others, then naturally the Lord is insulted, Lord is disrespected and abused. So the goddess of wealth, which is his consort, will never be happy, never be pleased, and never shower its blessings. So that is where they are always in crisis.
So this is the symbolic meaning that the concert is not, what is the literal meaning? The real meaning, the Lakshmi Ji concert is not means.
The literal, it is not, it is like, the Lord and the wealth go together.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are gossiping, backbiting, abusing other person, then naturally the divinity inside is hurt, and then that person will never have the blessings of the goddess of wealth.
Okay. What?
Jai Sachidanand.
Yes, Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand. Elizabeth?
Yes, Jai Sachidanand, and Happy New Year to both of you and all Mahatmas. I have a request of both of you. You just got back from your Girnar Yatra, right? Both of you went on that?
I was
Yes,
not.
I did.
You didn't go? Okay. I want you to share with us how you followed five Agnas. You had so many prakritis to deal with, so many programs to keep up with, and keep all your belongings together. How you were able to put Dada's Agnas in play.
The one thing is very clear. We are in the ocean of Prakriti.
Mm-hmm.
And there are so many different kind of Prakriti. Someone is very lazy, someone is very active, someone is very punctual, someone is always late. So all you get that opportunity to see them, observe them, perceive them, observation is five sense observation, and perception is pure soul perception. So at times, yes, you will. I ended up observing people and drawing opinion. They are like this, like that. But then I say to myself, you are also like that sometime. Now that you have improved, you are taking pride of that. Oh, I'm better than them. So they will also, and the purpose of coming together and uh, spending time together with Mahatma is you see others and you will learn. Because the principle of learning, as you see, so you learn. Naturally, it happens. Naturally, it happens. So it is a wonderful opportunity we had. Rather, I was always focusing about what is happening to me, how I am feeling, whether I'm reacting or responding positively, reacting negatively. So it was extremely good. So, in fact, I was not well. Truly speaking, I was not really well to go. But I said, when so many Mahatmas are going, I must go. Then that situation came, there is ropeway till Mataji temple. And to come to the temple, Neminath Bhagwan temple, you have to go down about 1500 steps. And I was not physically fit to go. So one choice was I will go back. And the other choice was I be with all the Mahatmas and Aptaputras and spend little money on Doli. So I said, what is the value of money when I'm getting this opportunity to be with Mahatmas for another 4-5 hours? Why should I miss that opportunity? So that's how I spent that little money and went by taking help of those people and by Doli, and I went there. So it was great. And see, being with Mahatma and at that place, next half cycle, 22 Tirthankar Bhagwan lords are going to get liberated from that place.
From Girna?
So the piousness, yes.
No.
Yes, that is the
I didn't know that.
importance. That is the, yeah, at least the scriptures say that. And I believe if there is an opportunity, forget about money. Money will come and go. So I took that opportunity and went there. And the best part was in that all that agony of my pain, I enjoyed the company of Mahatma and Aptaputra, and it was excellent. Then that surrounding that atmosphere, because that place is very pious. So many Tirthankars are going to get liberated. You know why? Why they get segregate themselves and go into isolation is no one's disturbance. They are with them, and that last ascension that take place during that separation of soul from the mind, speech, body, that is the body. It's a great thing. It's a great thing. And that can happen with such ascension, getting liberated on such pious place only. So, with all that, you get that opportunity to perceive your inner self, where you are really going wrong, where you are unnecessarily involving yourself in others' business, where you have no concern. If you see any lapse, any negativity in others, pray for them instead of gossiping or like what the Dr. Kashyap brought out, backbiting people. What is the use? But we are so much used to that we keep doing that and damage our inner self and that wonderful time of our life we are spending unnecessarily into criminal waste of time, where we have that opportunity to see and perceive these different varieties of Prakriti. It's a great
That's right. That's
opportunity.
right. It's a
How are
major
you? How are you going to
test.
come across these varied Prakritis? Some eat more, some eat less, some eat one thing more, some eat other thing less. It's fun. So, I just recollected uh, Dev Ke Dev Mahadev, that episode wherein Lord Shiva was invited by Parvati ji's, his in-laws with his Gana and Preta.
Mm-hmm.
So his Gana and Preta totally, what is it,
They
very
destroyed the
raw.
feast.
No, absolutely raw.
Mm-hmm.
So because they never get to eat such uh, delicious food, they were eating only fruits in the jungle, in
Mm-hmm.
the Kailash. So when they were serving, so they are very in discipline. They were serving one after another. So the guy at the end, he became so impatient. He just got up and picked from the plate. So and in that whole process, everything got upside down, and people they got irritated. What kind of people these people are? And Shiva is enjoying. He's enjoying. Oh my God! Oh my God! Priests are so happy with this. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
So, where other people get irritated, Shiva means Gnani Purush, the
Mm-hmm.
enlightened soul, fully enlightened soul. He enjoys the prakriti of other people. Then see how they are enjoying. But then these people are etiquette with discipline. You should do not do this. Should not do this. Always sit tight. No, do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
So it's fun. It's fun. So at least with all this, it was a great experience
It is
in
because
the
you get to
Gilliland.
test how much in Agnya you are.
Yes, and rather we get that opportunity to perceive other prakritis
Mm-hmm.
impartially,
Mm-hmm.
without any kind of bias.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that observation part will come because we are so much used to five sense observation.
Mm-hmm.
But then, because of the vigilance part and our decision to perceive using pure consciousness, that perception power, it really helps. There are back and forth, it goes on like that. But then finally, the pure soul thing wins. Dada Bhagwan wins because we are in favor of him and his science.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yes.
wonderful. It was wonderful. Jai Satchidanand.
Pulinanji,
Jai Satchidanand. Thank you.
Pulinanji.
He didn't go.
Well, I didn't go.
Oh, you didn't go. Okay.
Well, I didn't go there.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. Okay.
So,
Okay, we'll talk to Shaila
But
Benu.
you've been
Shaila
on
Benu?
other yatras.
yeah, I was there in the yatra before that, which happened in Jan, this thing after the Punya Tithi.
Mm-hmm.
So, there too, I had gone with a very clear-cut agenda and understanding
Mm-hmm.
that I had been there previously, and I had missed out two particular places to visit in that Samet Sikar. There are I think 24 or many places, and two main tooks or places I had missed
Mm-hmm.
out. I said this time I want to clear everything.
Mm-hmm.
And Dada Bhagwan's words I remembered that we go to Jatra to square up our accounts where we have this thing missed out or something, like Viraj
Mm-hmm.
Napra, it's that type
Mm-hmm.
of thing. And other thing is that this is the place where 20 Tirthankars went to Moksha. And it's very likely because that we would have been with some of them in our previous births. Because Dada says all these Mahatmas have just not come together. We are in this spiritual journey since many births. We have also attended satsangs or sabhas of Tirthankars in the past. And we had decided that we will go to moksha, but not in such a troublesome or difficult way, the kramic way. We will go something easy. So that's how we are with Akram Vignan and Dada Bhagwan. So somewhere I would have touched or attended some of the Tirthankars and things like that. So it's a very pious place, maybe sort of a reunion, not that
No,
I know.
I have gone on that yatra with Kanu Dada. I think it was 2009 or something like that. We
Hmm.
bunch of Mahatmas had come from US also. We had
Yeah.
gone. We'd
I
taken
was
a
there.
you
I
were
was
there.
there. Yeah.
You were there. Yeah,
Yeah.
we had gone on that. Yeah, I could do 20 of those 22
Yeah,
tubes.
same
You
thing
know.
with me. The only that one or two I left
Yeah,
out with Chandra Prabhu took, and I think the Chandra Prabhu took was the main thing which I had missed
I think the
last time.
two highest ones. There
And
was a lot
Pashwanath
of
Bhagwan
climbing
took,
there.
huh? Yeah, Pashwanath Bhagwan and Chandra Prabhu. Two are these things which you feel little thing. So that was to square off and then attend his place, and many other things were there with me. So with that in mind, I did fulfill the agenda. And of course, the nature also helped me in the sense, of course, so many Mahatmas. So the pleasure or what you really enjoy is the presence of Mahatmas and
Company.
the company of Mahatmas, and we go together. We do in between. That's the beauty of the whole thing.
Okay. So 11. Please unmute.
Jai Sachidanand Pulinanandji, Jai Sachidanand Deepakanandji, Jai Sachidanand Dada, and Jai Sachidanand Mahatmas. And a Happy New Year to you all.
Happy New Year.
Okay, my question was one of the Apta Sutras that came in WhatsApp. It was during the weekend. It is, I think, I'm just pulling it up. It says it's Apta Sutra 274. It says a person can live life exactly the way they desire.
That's all.
That's all. It's just one line. A person can live life exactly the way they desire. Now, I'm not able to understand this at all because when they say we talk about something, the life that we desire, we talking about, because as Shuddhatma, there's nothing, it doesn't make any sense. So what is it referring to, and what is the life? Is it possible to live life exactly the way you desire?
Yeah, if it is relative, yes, but then it's in terms of cause and effect. He
Right.
decides the life he wants like this. Maybe this type of a spouse, this type of a family, this type of education, this type of, say, worldly comforts, education or whatever. Then that is cause, and then he gets the effect.
That's
The next in the next this thing births or the coming births, because to execute the desire also you need punya. He accumulates punya and then those desires get executed.
Right.
So if from that point of view, maybe it could, I'm just trying to, a person can live life exactly the way they desire. જેવો જીવા માગે તે રીતે જીવી શકે. એટલે now this is in terms of cause and effect. And here, as I read it again, જેને જેવી રીતે જીવવા માગે છે તેવી રીતે જીવી શકે છે. That is even in the present life also. If he goes by his existing desires, that I want to just make merry, then yes. I want to help others, then yes. Or I want to, be well educated or something like that. So execution of the present desires also in this birth. So you are a maker of your destiny, as they say, no? Something like that.
Okay, that's what you're saying.
That's the way it is.
Okay. Yeah.
Jai Sachidanand. One thing is that you could be driven away by your past karmas. But while your past karmas are unfolding and showing its positive and negative results, from inside you can always decide how you want to live your life. And that will uh, create a big change eventually. Although so it's like if your life is full of negativity, then through right satsang and exposure to good people, you will come to that positivity and you will always be positive, you will always be on the positive side, that irrespective of what negativity that comes in my life, it is because of my past karma, but I want to be positive. So that's how it will reflect on your life. In spite of the negativities of the past karmas, your life will be quite positive with this positive attitude.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, now I'm
Yeah.
able to understand. Yes. And the very
Yeah.
next Apta Sutra, the very next one,
Hold
270.
on. Okay, let me get it.
I think it came yesterday.
Hold on. Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
Okay. One should have a very focused and thoughtful life. See what the outcome of each and every action will be. When thinking about the consequences, does the soul become like that? No. The knower of thoughts about the consequences phases, that is the soul. But the outcome will have to be upright and straightforward. No. One should live with careful attention or not. So here also it meant, it's very nicely said that positive and negative will come. But if you focus on the positive side only, then that's how it's going to eventually bring that positivity in your life. In fact, it's like in all those negative results wherein you end up suffering, you will be repenting upon the past mistakes, that knowingly or unknowingly these mistakes were committed, and due to that those suffering I'm coming across. But now I don't want to be there. I don't want to repeat that again. So I'll be correcting, I'll be uh, uh, doing pratikraman. So that's how you become positive. So it says, but outcome will have to be upright and straightforward, right? So one should live with careful attention. So one should, with very close observation, they must live. That's what it says.
Okay, yeah. But it says, when thinking about the consequences, does the soul become like that? Okay, so that is the only line I'm not able to understand.
Yeah, so let us see 1 minute. Huh?
Only the third line, but others I'm able to, is making, I'm able to.
So it says you must think about what would be the consequences of whatever I do.
Yes, that I understood. Does the soul become like that? Okay. Because the knower is of the thoughts.
See, it is a conception that by thinking like that, you will become like that. The soul will become like that. So here Dada is revealing that no, soul is the knower.
Yes.
And nothing happens to the soul, but it had its effect on you.
Okay, now I got it. Yeah, now it makes sense. Yes, thank you. Yeah.
You want to say something?
Yes.
You see, basically, there are two things in the sutra. There are two things in sutra. The first thing you have understood that we should be vigilant about what is happening. The vigilant on if I do like this, what will be the consequences? So that if you don't want to suffer the consequences, you have to maintain the vigil and take preventive action if possible. That is the thing. Only that one sentence is the real sentence where it says the pure soul is unaffected by all this. It is only an observer. So nothing will happen to the pure soul. But the relative part we have to take care, na? Shouldn't we take care? That's the question mark that is putting.
Okay.
So for the relative part, we will be vigilant, and the real anyway is unaffected.
Okay.
So there are two aspects to the whole in the sutra.
Okay, understood.
They are not directly linked, they are two separate things.
Yes. Okay. I understood. Thank you so much.
Jai Satchidanand. Kashyabhai?
Yeah, regarding this sutras only, I want to bring 258 because that one little bit it is interpreted little bit different, so that is I want to bring 1 minute. Let me bring.
Which number?
258 I brought. Can you see?
And anyway, you're bringing it. Okay, fine.
Jara motu karo.
Yeah. Can you see it?
It's 271.
258.
271. Okay, hold on here.
કાંટો જોયા કરજે જે અંતર્મુખ ઘટે અને બાહ્ય સુખ વધે તો સજ્જડ સમજે કે મરવાનો થયો.
1 minute, I am making it bigger. Yeah. So the interpretation of this sutra, it is saying that what God has said, keep an eye on the needle of the scale. Okay, this is clear. If internal happiness reduces and external happiness increases, then understand that you are on the verge of dying. So the last one is that one is interpreted. I actually asked this sutra in the satsang, and Deepakanandji also I asked. So he has a different take and what is mentioned in this sutra. So now please explain this. Pulinanandji.
You see, don't take it literally. Marvano thyo, and that means he's not going to physically die, but basically, as it is said over here, that you will be drawn towards that external happiness. You will be if the needle of this thing goes towards this thing, that means there are two happinesses. One is inner happiness and one is outer happiness. If the balance tilts towards the outer happiness, that is, one is more engrossed in external happiness, means happiness of the five senses, and material happiness in terms of say wealth, and in terms of prestige, and in terms of possessions, bungalow, car, etc. So if you are tilted towards external happiness, then you will be going more and more in the relative world. So you will be going more and more in the rag dvesh, and that's how you will entangle yourself more and more in worldly pleasures and worldly sufferings. Marvanotho, then ultimately all this will bring about worldly suffering. Ultimately, the end, if you're too much engrossed in the physical, this thing, it bring about suffering, because there are two aspects. One is all the happiness of the relative are on loan, so it will anyway, repayment will take place. So that is how the suffering will come. And then in the absence of the worldly happiness, I want bungalow. If I don't get it, or if my bungalow goes away, then again I will feel very unhappy from inside. So it will going to increase your inner suffering. It's going to increase your suffering. So marvano thoye, yani you will increase your suffering. So don't get totally tilted towards the external happiness. That's what he's saying. And that is how you will, by in doing so, you will invite more of suffering. Marvano thoye, you will be inviting more of suffering. So
here marvano thaye, it means, does it include the material, the worldly suffering, or the spiritual is trying to point towards the spiritual, that we will go away from the Atma? It is for Mahatmas or for Mumukshu? That is not clear,
No, it is a general principle. It is applicable to both. It is applicable to both. You see, Mahatma means what? Mahatma means he's only got that inner vision. But if he's not following Agnas and if he still continues according to his discharge karma, then the same thing will be applicable to him also. So it's a general principle. It's a general principle that you will be away from the soul, and you will be more towards the material, which anyway is temporary and will inflict suffering.
So materially also they will suffer, means have losses and all that.
It may not be a loss of things, but it will cause a lot of heat burn. Supposing I have imposed happiness in a bungalow. I'm staying in a small place. I want a big bungalow, big bungalow, big bungalow. So his happiness is tilted over there. A nice bungalow, I'm enjoying. And then something happens to a bungalow, or he's able to some damage take place, or he sees someone else's bigger bungalow, or something like that. Then again he'll start feeling bad from within. Oh yeah, this is, I spent so much lakhs on this, and this is the problem. Or someone else has made a bigger bungalow, and then sorry, yaar, my bungalow is nothing in front of him. So again it'll induce suffering. So it may not be a physical loss, but it can be a mental suffering. It could be physical, but generally speaking, it's the inner agony, you see. See, how have all of us come toward Dada Bhagwan or towards Atma? We have gone through all this. We had imposed happiness in the materialistic world, in the real relative world, and after attaining all that, we have found there is no happiness over here. Happiness lies somewhere else, and happiness is in the soul. And then hence, how to find soul, and then go to Gnani, and that's how we have come to the Gnani. So
They
we have
explain
gone
that
through this whole cycle.
drowning in the worldly pleasure in spiritual terms, So
Maybe the drowning is maybe you can just the translation may not be very, very appropriate.
this
Not
next
very-
time, the thing is the translation trying to explain what it means dying, means it is drowning in the worldly pleasures that in the spiritual terms means it is like with so many worldly pleasures, then it is, you are engrossed in that pleasures and you forget the soul. This is what I understood from the translation.
This also is right. This also is right, which is valid for Mahatmas.
Yeah. So for the Mahatmas, it means that means that they forget.
Although this may not happen much to Mahatmas, there could be only exceptions where this will take place, where he is not too much concerned about the Gnan and there is more concerned about physical. That only happens as an exception when he takes Gnan by force of someone else, you take Gnan, so he takes. He's not interested. He has not realized the value of the soul and things like that. So in such cases, that could happen. On an average, for Mahatmas, he will come out of it sooner or later, even if he gets drawn away in physical happiness. So for Mahatmas, in the sense, we have to keep a balance, not get too much engrossed in the relative, so that the Atma Jagrati or the spiritual awareness it does not get, covered up or hindered. So that's how we can say it's there for both. It's for both. But the Marvanothane, that is essentially for a non-Mahatma. I think the sutra, whenever Dada would have spoken, would be with a non-Mahatma in front of him. But Mahatmas can also take a lesson from this.
Yeah, see, actually, the thing is that because there's no context for the sutras, so putras can help, in that, because to sell the context, we cannot find it anywhere the context for this. Only our putras can tell it, so that is the only way,
Right now, keep it at that. But even Mahatmas, gradually, when they evolve higher and higher, in terms of spiritual awareness or Jagrati Atma awareness, you'll be able to understand this automatically, but maybe a little later on. Because if I just glance at the above sutra, it says material happiness which becomes above normal eventually feels like pain or suffering. So from the above also we can infer that it is a general statement as such. Above normal, and supposing you like something, some say gulab jamun. Then if you keep on eating every day, then you'll feel that, you'll get fed up of that gulab jamun. So that happiness, if it becomes above normal, more of that happiness, then again you will feel tired about it, or you'll feel the pain or suffering about it. It's true for all five senses, wealth, man, everywhere this is true. Anything above normal becomes pain or suffering.
Deepakanandji, you want to say?
Deepakanandji, you want to say something?
Yeah, Jai Satchidanand. See, here it is said that if you are driven by outside happiness, then what is going to happen? You will be trying to seek more outside happiness, but that outside happiness is karmic outcome, karmic result. So that's not going to happen. So, in an attempt to get more outside happiness, you will end up causing more karma, and that will end up in increasing your lives. For Mahatmas, it is only nikachit karma or mandatory karmas which will drive that person onto outside happiness. But then once he is done with that outside mandatory karma, he's going to come back, and because his inner vigilance has opened out of grace, that is going to alert the Mahatma, "Hey, where are you going? Where did you go?" But that was karmic pressure, nikachit karma, mandatory karma, which forced him into outside happiness. So Mahatmas are eventually going to come back inside. They can't go endlessly outside. It is only some of the nikachit, that is mandatory karmas, which make them drive outside, move outside. Otherwise, they are going to come back because that inner vigilance is there, which remains till the end.
So
Is that
what is
clarified?
about drowning in the worldly pleasures?
Drowning, the meaning of drowning is you end up causing more life. But this is not applicable to Mahatmas.
Okay.
It will add the number of lives, because in an attempt to get more outside happiness, you will end up causing more karmas, which will push his liberation further and further away.
Okay. Thank you. I got it. Yes.
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai
Your time is up.
Sachidanand.
Deepakanandji, can you do three mantra, please?
Yeah, Jai Sachidanand.
You know what we could add as one of the Purushas was that just observe Vyavasthit Shakti at play for 1 week, and that is what are the situations unfolding in front of us, the external thing, and how things materialize. I want to do this, whether you're able to do it, whether you're not able to do it. What are the situations or supporting evidences which enabled you to do it, or enabled or did not enable to do it? That is one thing. And also observe Vyavasthit that play as far as file number 1 goes, what's happening inside you into the mind body mind level. Also Chitt, of course, we are focusing on mind intellect level, what's happening at the body level. Sort of remain observer and see at events or situations that are unfolding. Means sort of Vyavasthit at play. Sorry, at play. Just one more dimension to the Purusharth for the week.
Jai Sachidanand. Namo Vitragai.
Namo Vitragai.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo
Ayuriyanam.
Namo Vajrayanam.
Namo Vajrayanam.
Namo Loe Sava Sahunam.
Namo Loe Sava Sahunam.
Eso Panchanamukaro.
Panchanamukaro.
Savvapavapranasano.
Savvapavapranasano.
Mangalanam cha Savesim.
Mangalanam cha Savesim.
Padamam Havai Mangalam.
Paramam Havai Mangalam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Satchidanand. Jai Satchidanand.